Two Central Texas fires overnight, two families dealing with loss. Now investigators have the tough job of figuring out the causes. And God and guns, how more churches have begun taking security threats much more seriously.
We saw nice blue skies today, but clouds are going to hang around through most of the work week. We'll show you when it's expected to rain here in Central Texas in my full forecast. Your 25 News starts right now.
Connecting Central Texas. This is 25 News Weekend.
And I prayed about it extensively and just felt led to participate in that.
More churches arm themselves to keep congregations safe. Good evening. A Washington Post story out today reports small rural churches around the country struggle to keep worshipers safe in a dangerous world. While big churches can hire private security, many, like the one outside Fort Worth that recently had a shooting incident, have begun to arm their own. Tatiana Taylor shows us how they managed to stay sharp.
Such a need around the country for people that can protect other people. And I prayed about it extensively and just felt led to participate in that.
Steve Cecil has attended Grove First Baptist for 3 years. He says he loves it and says he became a volunteer to help people.
And help protect those that can't protect themselves, the young, the kids. Bang, 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 bang.
Cecil tells me Saturday's training was a basic beginner version of an intense year-long training where volunteers act out real-life situations. They practice how to respond.
Why are we going outside? The mothership's outside.
The more you practice, the more you become aware of the situation around you. And that is, I think that's key, is just being aware of what's going on.
Cecil says he believes more churches should be prepared for many situations.
There's more and more incidences happening around the country than we even know about, actually. We hear about the really bad ones, but those alone are enough to warrant having a safety team in your church.
Bill Cumby is the founder of the Oklahoma Church Security Association. He says his instructors are former law enforcement officers.
We don't make it sound easy. We don't whitewash it. We make them, this is what you're facing. This is what you have to do.
And they ensure churches are prepared for any situation.
It isn't just controlling the situation, of spotting the situations, of being a warm, friendly, embracing congregation, but at the same time keeping everybody safe.
This training is free for any church if they want it.
We try to provide a professional and quality service to churches that usually couldn't afford it otherwise.
Interesting to note, FBI statistics show a 35% increase in hate crimes at churches, synagogues, temples, and mosques from 2014 to 2018, the last year data was available. Now let's check our first look outside on this sunny Sunday. I suspect it's not going to last too much longer.
No, we got the clouds coming back starting tomorrow, but we enjoyed it for today, and I think a lot of people were very surprised on how warm it was for the middle of February. It's still very warm right now at this moment. Still got a couple of 80s. We got 80 in Hamilton, same for San Saba, 75 in Waco. Close to that 80-degree mark in Gatesville and Killeen, but we got 77 in Temple, 75 Bryan College Station. Coolest spot right now is Madisonville, checking in with 71 degrees. But yes, we do have the blue skies all across the area. Clouds did stay down towards the south, so folks in Austin did have the cloud cover for today, but we saw a decrease and shift down towards the south, but we're going to watch that build back up towards the north later on. So we do have some of those high, thin clouds right now, which is a little bit more tough to get picked up on radar, but that's pretty evident here on our Extra Go Eagle Eye from our studio in Bryan College Station. And as we head over to Bell County, or actually Coryell County in Copperas Cove, we have the sunshine here looking pretty nice. Temperatures going down through the rest of the 60s and even going into the upper 50s as we head through the overnight hours and starting off for our Monday morning. But I'll show you what we can expect in terms of rain coming up.
All right. A Waco fire marshal right now looking into the exact cause of this overnight fire at Herring and 15th. Firefighters got the call just after 3 this morning to find flames shooting through the home's roof and 2 residents outside. They rescued a third who ended up in a hospital for treatment of smoke inhalation. The owner of the home calls the fire suspicious. He says it apparently started in a recliner on the front porch of the wood frame home and spread to the wall and into the attic. Firefighters confirm it apparently started in the front of the home. In Milam County, the news not so good as another overnight fire killed 3 just outside Thorndale. Thorndale volunteer firefighters called in help from Rockdale. Both departments battled the fire for over 3 hours. Investigators with the State Fire Marshal's Office will investigate, though early indications point to a space heater. Family members say Marvin, Myrtle, and Bill Cantwell died in that fire. Big school troubles in Marlin this weekend. Check out this undated letter sent out by interim Marlin School Superintendent Gene Bainey. It says the Texas Education Agency has revoked the accreditation of Marlin Independent School District, meaning the state no longer recognizes it as a public school system. Bainey says the district is taking steps to address the problems that have persisted for years. Marlin city leaders have begun the process of opening a charter school with the help of former Waco ISD Superintendent Dr. Marcus Nelson. In Robertson County, a very scary-looking crash results in 4 people hurt. The crash off Highway 14 near Bremont left a handful of people hurt, and 2 of them a little more seriously than the others, according to police. The vehicle ended up upside down off a dirt road just outside Bremont city limits. Bryan police need your help tonight to identify a person hit by a truck early Saturday. Police say that person had crossed North Harvey Mitchell Parkway in front of a truck. Police describe the victim as a 40 to 50-year-old man, and they say he remains in critical condition. If you might know the person, Bryan police certainly want to hear from you. And College Station police arrested this woman for reckless driving around several children. Police say Makisha Palmer drove circles on an occupied basketball court, endangering several children. Tonight she faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and child endangerment. We Texans love our outdoor sports, as most folks out west do, but in one western state, there's change afoot. Just ahead, why one state mandated a slate of gender-neutral sporting events. But first, protesters take to the streets after a school bullying incident breaks hearts and riles folks up. That's next.
We have a very nice look outside over Harker Heights, but we're going to see cloud cover come back into the picture starting tomorrow. We'll show you how long that's going to stick around coming up.
A Texas student says she just wanted to leave school forever after classmates grabbed the wig off her head and called her names. Thing is, Amaya Moon battles cancer and says the humiliation didn't stop there. But this weekend, as Devin Fernandez shows us, dozens of people showed up to take up for the girl.
Their chants could be heard loud and clear outside Bowman Middle School in Plano on Friday. This group sending a strong anti-bullying message.
I just want to leave school forever.
After this 6th grader, Amaya Moon, and her family claimed she was the target of extreme bullying by a classmate.
A little girl chased her around the gym. Someone she thought was her friend chased her around the gym and pulled her wig off in front of everyone.
Amaya's mother says her daughter was being picked on and bullied over her appearance. The family says the 11-year-old was diagnosed with a rare cancer just over a year ago. The girl's hair went from this to this dramatic change during treatments.
She lost all of her hair due to chemo. So when she started back in October, we got her a wig so she could feel confident, and kind of fit in and feel normal.
That wig, the family says Amaya now wears, gave her a certain sense of security in school. She says that was ripped away when her wig was ripped off her head and allegedly called derogatory names in front of other students.
I got really sad and I got dizzy and I left.
Well, Plano ISD released a statement late Friday afternoon telling us the safety and well-being of all its students is a priority. It goes on to say, Bowman Middle School and Plano ISD administrators have been responding to the situation and are working closely with all involved students and their parents.
Stop the bullying!
But the school district's response hasn't been swift enough, according to these concerned parents and community members. They say bullying is real.
It is, and we didn't know how real it was until our own child started going through it.
Amaya and her family say they just want her school to be a place where she can take her mind off her illness.
She's just trying to be a normal 11-year-old, and it's hard when you got to fight on top of fight.
And they're urging all parents to speak with their kids about the impact of bullying.
We won't tolerate it.
In Plano, I'm Devin Fernandez.
That's right. The family urges parents to speak about their children, but the impact bullying can have on others because they believe it can really change some minds. Plenty of sunshine on this sunny Sunday, but I guess that won't last more than a day or two, will it?
No, it's going to go away by tomorrow, but we'll see some peaks of sunshine by the time we go into Monday afternoon. But then we're really not going to be seeing much of it, especially in the middle of the week. So enjoy it while we can. This is a live look outside over Harker Heights. We have a gorgeous scenery all across central Texas at this moment. And as we continue to head through the rest of the night, we're looking at temperatures falling down into the 60s and eventually down into the 50s. So 69 is where we're going to be at here in just a little bit, and we're looking at going into the upper 50s already towards 11 and midnight tonight. We're going to kind of stay in the mid to upper 50s through the overnight hours. So this is where we're expecting to bottom out at. Most places will be in the 50s, some places in the lower 60s, when our normal low for this time of year is around 40 degrees. But tomorrow we're still looking at another significantly very warm day all across central Texas, upper 70s to the lower 80s, when our normal high for this time of year is in the lower 60s. Now we do have 63 degrees written for Tuesday. However, tracking a cold front that's going to be arriving late tomorrow night and Tuesday morning. So that's actually going to happen at midnight, and then throughout the daytime hours on Tuesday, it's going to be somewhere in the 50s. But then Wednesday, the high temperature we're only forecasting is 50 degrees. So that means most places will likely be stuck in the 40s with those cold rain showers throughout the entire day. And that's going to linger on into our Thursday. So look out for Wednesday and Thursday being the soggy days here in central Texas. Temperature-wise, by tomorrow morning, we'll be in the upper 50s, some places in the mid 50s. Watching for cloud cover building across the area, we also do have the chance to see some patchy fog form, especially east of I-35, so visibility might be reduced in some spots. Just keep that in mind and take it a little bit slower if you do encounter any. By Monday afternoon, we're still going to have partly to mostly cloudy skies across the area, already into the upper 60s to near 70 by then, and we're going to top off in the upper 70s by about 3 or 4 o'clock, still looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies. Cloud cover significantly increases Monday night into Tuesday with that cold front blowing through. Not much rain associated with the cold front as it is blowing through, but here's our high temperature around midnight. It's going to be in the lower 60s around then, but then we're really going to start watching for those showers start to pop up going into Tuesday morning and lasting through the rest of the afternoon. We aren't looking at really any kind of storms as we're heading through the rest of this week. We may see the occasional downpours, and if anything, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but it's just going to be a lot of rain that is sitting on top of us, especially Tuesday through Thursday. Just look at our extended future track. This is now going into Wednesday afternoon, just a huge green blob just sitting on top of us. Headed up north, you may run into some wintry precipitation, but we're going to have significantly much warmer air on top of us, so we will just be seeing the rain throughout this entire week. So increasing clouds for tonight. Watch out for some patchy fog going into the mid 50s. Upper 70s to near 80 degrees for tomorrow, but then by the middle of the week, we cool off significantly with those rain showers, dry out just in time for the weekend.
All right, sounds good. Well, President Trump rather, pardon. President Trump opened the Daytona 500 today. He arrived with his motorcade on the speedway and made about a quarter lap before pulling aside, and Mr. Trump calling the race pure American glory. Early voting, by the way, in Texas starts Tuesday and runs to February 28th. Cast your ballot at any polling location in your home county. Election Day, March 3rd. For locations, just check the state's website for the Secretary of State. Well, softball season has begun, and here in Texas, it's easy to get a game together, but what about our neighbors to the north? Before the spring thaw, it's snowmobile ball. We'll explain how that works. But first, why one state ordered a set of outdoor sports to go gender neutral. That's next. The Oregon Department of Education will now allow all genders to participate in forestry competitions. Catherine Kiesel shows us how one girl's complaint got quick action.
I think I have a natural ability to balance.
Faith says she wasn't always this good.
When I first started, I used to be really bad at it.
That was about a year ago. After a lot of practice, Faith, a senior here at Sabin-Schellenberg, started getting recognized in a sport traditionally dominated by boys.
We wanted Faith to have the opportunity to be competitive.
Caitlin Walker is an instructor here at the forestry program. She saw Faith getting pushback at the competitions.
He said, "Do you know what you're doing?" And then he said, what is this, some sort of transgender event now? In front of everybody, industry workers, parents, other students. I didn't respond directly to him. I said, let's roll, pulled my hair out of my ponytail and started rolling, and I placed second.
It brought a lot of frustration to myself and to our entire timber sports team, who felt like one of our own had been targeted.
They brought their concerns to state officials with the Department of Education. One official confirmed with me tonight, as of this week, all competition for the forestry events will now include all genders.
Even though there's been ups, downs, we've been angry, we've been sad, at the end of the day, this is a huge win for us and hopefully for women in our industry.
What do you want to tell maybe other young girls, young women, or whoever in these situations where they're being told that they shouldn't be doing something? What do you want to tell them?
You can. It might feel like there's a world stopping you, but you can. You need to break through those barriers. There are people there for you. You need to go talk to them. You need to get your voice out there. Break those barriers and do it.
Get this, Faith's twin sister Grace also competes at spur climbing. Well, theater goers in New York evacuated during a performance because somebody opened a can of pepper spray. It happened at the Broadhurst Theater Saturday during a performance of Jagged Little Pill. They rescheduled today, and no pepper spray. Going back to the log rolling, have you ever done it?
I've never done it. Never been something that I've even had the opportunity to.
I am the Memphis 1987 Folk Fest log rolling champion.
Wow.
And everybody was invited to participate.
There you go. We got an athlete in our midst right here. Well, hey, look, Baylor softball trying to become champions themselves today out at the Getterman Classic. Coming up next in sports, we're going to bring you highlights from that big final to see whether or not they could keep their eyes on the prize. Thanks for sticking around for sports. I'm Jack Allen. Baylor softball came into the season with mixed expectations. Riddled with injuries a year ago, the Bears finished last in the Big 12. This year, they're healthy again and trying to make a statement early in the season. Today, trying to make it a 6-0 start at home with a win in the Getterman Classic final. First inning, Baylor jumping out to a hot start. Gia Rodoni had 16 strikeouts yesterday. Today, making them look like kindergartners playing in the dirt for a pair of strikeouts. Rodoni pitched 5 innings, no runs. In the bottom, bases loaded. Goose McGlon gets a hold of one, flying out to deep center, but that would score Kyla Walker later. Runners on second and third. Taylor Ellis is going to step up and ground it to first base to score another run, 2-0 Bears. Still in the first inning, Emily Hott came up next. She drives a hard shot to short. The infield single scores another run. Baylor winds up winning this one, sweeping through the Getterman Classic to earn a big tournament victory.
It was nice to get the title back here and take control of things. Wasn't always pretty this weekend, but we certainly did what we had to do when we had to do it.
Obviously, we're coming in ready to fight back from the last weekend we had, and it just feels good to take ownership of our field and our home.
Well, Baylor Ballpark was home to the rubber match between Baylor baseball and Nebraska today. Huskers with 2 in scoring position in the third inning, but pitcher Hayden Kettler forces the ground out to third base. A nice play on the run by Cardoso Kendo, but a run scores to make it 2-0 Nebraska in the bottom of the inning. Still in the third, Baylor got to work. Jared McKenzie grounds it to third, but it bounces away. Okendo's going to round third, come to the plate. A close play, but he's safe. Huskers fielding woes continued later in the inning. Nick Lofton skying one to right field. It hangs in the air for a long time, just out of reach of the right fielder. 2 runs come across the score. Lofton ends up at third, and Baylor recovers from a tough opening game to finish the series on top 7-2. And Dennis, it was perfect baseball weather out there.
It sure was.
It was beautiful.
Nice and warm, yeah. Well, snowmobilers in Oregon play softball of sorts. Check this out. The annual tournament puts winter and summer sports together with a traditional pitcher and batter. And the batter make contact. They jump on their snowmobile and go around the bases. Fielders have to stay in contact with their snowmobile, touch the ball, it gets hit. The best strategy, just try to get a hold of the ball, not overthrow it. That is just wild, isn't it? Thank goodness we don't have to worry about doing that.
That is not perfect baseball weather.
That is definitely not. We don't have to worry about snow again for a while, do we?
We don't have to play that kind of game here in Central Texas. Just regular baseball and softball. We have highs in the upper 70s again tomorrow. I don't think rain's going to be too much of an issue, but we're watching out for some isolated showers. The better rain chances are going to be in the middle of the week, especially Wednesday and going on into Thursday. But it's going to be significantly much colder around then too, but we do warm back up eventually.
And that's what's happening tonight. Now stay tuned for America's Funniest Home Videos. That's next on KXXV, and we'll be looking for you again tonight at 10.